A long, long time ago, from the deepness of the void, arised a realm. Hyrule, through the eras and the ancient times, has been the beloved home to our ancestors. A calm, fruitful, and prosperous kingdom, ruled by my family. Up to us, our people's land never flinched, not even against the calamity, leading to the proliferation of life in many various environments. Ever since I was old enough to get my sights on this world, I've truly admired the wild, mysteriously waltzing on the sidelines of our kingdom. Yet, I've realized this world is periodic. From a pulse to a progressive slowdown, this score, composed of 4 seasons, forms an eternal cycle. Spring, the genesis of our world. From a mild climate, it is the starting point of all things. This hopeful dawn shelters the nest of every animal, carries the seeds of every plant, and conveys the wishes. It is the season of love, a perpetual renewal of life, where 2 becomes 3. From the view of my window, I contemplate the joyful flight of sparrows, the courtesy between servants, and the blooming of flowers. I'm rarely allowed to go away from this prison at stone, but today, as a present for my 15th anniversary, my lovely father, King Rhoam Blasphemous Hyrule, took me to the Satori Mountain. It is said by our old legends that this holy mountain lies the spirit of the forest. There, among the millennial years and trees, my gaze stopped at a magnificent flower. Impa, my truly wise friend who accompanied us, explained that here lies a special species, a unique flower called the Silent Princess. This rare plant, so fragile, flourishes only under so restrained circumstances that it only survives in some divinely blessed places, proof of Satori Mountain's holiness. As I was fascinated and blinded by a desire from this flower, I asked my father if I could pluck her. He insisted about the flimsiness of this flora. He warned me that nobody in our history has ever been able to raise one successfully.
This lady is the wildest you could ever meet, and controlling her is impossible. No matter how arduous efforts you bring to this endeavor, you will fail, my dear daughter.
Despite his cautions, I uprooted her. Back at the castle, I put the princess in one of my most beautiful pots, adorned by many minerals. It was the favorite one of my late mother. Every single day, even under the coat of sadness, I forced myself to open all the windows of my study as to fully nourish the lady. I wanted to put every chance on my side. I wanted this miracle of nature to survive, even within my company. Yet, at the end of the same week, on a serene morning, as the chill drew thrills on my skin, as I go upstairs like every day to greet the princess, I'm absolutely terrified to find her completely weathered. The mystical cerulean blue on her petals had turned into a mud brown, and the pure white of her edges into a faded gray. All day, I've been cuddling her necrotized remains, where after each caress, she was losing one more petal. I wept for so long that I lost the notion of time, until I realized it was already night. After not having answered any servant's call to my door, my father, the king, came himself to my chamber. What's for sure is that I'll forever remember the words that he told me.
Sweet daughter, why are you crying so hard?
He noticed I was holding the princess in my hand and pursued.
If your torment is caused by this flower, you should remember my warnings. It has been your very choice to bring her with you here, regardless of my words. You have to understand, Zelda, how everything in this world is ephemeral. The role we are playing is only to longer the life. The eternity, such as the power of creation, are privileges our gods handle alone. One day, it is said, and probably in our century, the calamity will be unsealed. If this day of destruction occurs under your living princess, you will pluck a new, silent princess flower and seed it in this very same pot. After your duty is accomplished, you will be able to return into this place as to contemplate the flower vanished by time, meaning your role in our history is fulfilled.
Summer, as the gleaming sun scorches the Hylian fields in our skins. At the extreme south, hidden beneath the coastal breeze, lies white sand beaches. With a landscape of truculent waves and a warm-hearted ambience, the fishing outpost of Lurelin begins its most fruitful fishing season. Even though, being a very recent settlement and rooted on the ruins of an old tribe, many Hylians are moving from Hateno, and the plains are coming in the region in summer to make seasonal profits. While the adults are setting sail on small ships, the young ones who came with their parents are rushing to hunt crabs, wildly proliferating and sunbathing on the shores. They are easy prey for the tremulous youth. Despite this apparent calmness, the sea is erratic and full of savage and dangerous Octoroks. No one would dare go far from these shores. Believing the travelers' reports, this outpost is well on its way to becoming a completely independent village, making it a new land for the Hylian people. There, free of any studies or duty, I wish I could one day calmly swim, mind unleashed, and the body free of any pageantry, in this relaxing blue water, with my prince. The August solar, tearing through the clouds, compels all beings equally to an extreme trial, a quest for survival under atrocious conditions. Beyond the highlands, like a carapace, separating it from the outer world, is located the Gerudo Desert. In the summer, the sun makes this place absolutely inhospitable. The heat devouring the weekends makes water a truthfully holy gift. Some unique peoples by the name of the Gerudo can survive under these scorching temperatures. It is a clan composed of only women, whose chief's name is Urbosa. Urbosa is a very great shield maiden. Since my past childhood, she's been a very close friend to my dear mother. She nicknames me Little Bird, as my mother used to call me with affection. More than a gorgeous woman, a warrior, and a brilliant leader, Urbosa is very wise. After the tragic death of my mother, she appeared even more devastated than me. Although I was only hiding my sorrow, Urbosa was appearing under the form of an empty shell, while under the consuming mist of sadness were with me into joyful memories. After countless days of looking into the starry sky with her, for both of us, a giant hole to fill, naturally, she got revealed to me like an old sister. Autumn. Once past the scorching blaze of summer, the old majestic trees robe an emotional orange, as if they were blushing. Soon will the boisterous wind expel these leaves, chasing them away on a joyful voyage. Foxes running on the hill, frogs waiting for the pouring rain, and owls enfolding the night. All the living beings enter a harmonious serenade led by the strings of wind. What a soothing melody. This evening, the wolves will retire their territories. Once the full moon awaken, they will roar over the cliffs. By this late time, I can already hear them from my window, soon going for the hunt. Past the night, blowing onto our ears, the wind urges us to harvest fruitful crops, the result of countless efforts from our peasants. This grand synchronized dance of long lines just as troops, our people are scything the wheat, dogs racing along the fields. Every time I look at these fields, I remember this memory with my father. He told me last year, by watching these very same fields, that
here lies the true power of Hyrule. Having hands on an army, gold, or even woman, is nothing compared to having a prosperous, fertile soil, Zelda. These fields are the heart of our kingdom, providing food to all of our people. These seeds that you hold in your hands are no less than a part of you, being grown and fed by these plants.
Today, by gazing at these golden fields, I understand the true weight of his words. They're not about the nourishment, nor about how prosperous we are, but rather about the smiles adorned by all the children. At times of sadness, I enjoy meditating in the rainfall, billions of small droplets finding their way from the top of our world. What lies beyond this unreachable blue ocean? I've read in ancient books that it is the goddess's home. Sometimes they appear to me as strings on Hylia's celestial harp. Although, on other times, they appear as stars in the sky, as if they were mother's tears. Winter. When the end of the year comes, following after its three siblings, winter invites itself into our kingdom. A horde of snowflakes covers Hyrule. Everywhere, at any time, the sky remains cloudy. The trees have lost their leaves. The flowers disappeared beneath the heavy coat of snow. The children suddenly hiding from this freezing wind. While the snow slowly covers our lands, no sound may be heard. A deep silence. A complete stop. It became as scary as when Father fell to sickness. This very day, the castle was under a stormy blizzard, shaking even the stones of the walls. As every day, I was heading to the throne room of the royal castle, a loud thunder struck the ground near the castle. But the king wasn't there, on his royal seat. So I went to his room and found him laid down on his bed. His face was pale, the body immobile, like frozen. He didn't even hear me coming. I was scared. I was terrified of the idea of losing him. I didn't want him to go away from me, just like Mother did. For countless days, I prayed, Hylia, begging her to witness my despair. I realized nobody could have any power on disease. There, at the top of this enormous castle, even the king of the holy royal family was powerless. During this time, just like anyone else, I too was useless. Finally, after 2 weeks of struggle, when he could nearly put his foot on the ground, my father said no words, but simply embraced me in his arms. Although I love this season, by now the whole kingdom is enfolded by pure white snow, trapping all of us in the linearity of time. All that's left is to wait for the storm to pass. A lesson of patience and humility, totally opportune for retrospecting our lives. From here on, the very end of the year, like a wide theater opening, all my hardships and all my life memories swirl before my eyes. By contemplating them, I feel motivated as ever for what is to come. I, Princess Hyrule Zelda, as the sole successor of Hyrule's kingship, must do my best for the kingdom's wealth. As I am not a child anymore, I am resolute to seek the knowledge outside of my study once the snow will have fully melted. I may contribute beyond being only the goddess's heir. With our people and Hylia's blessing, I am sure there will never be a foe strong enough to topple our kingdom.